Alright guys, so knife round underway. Map number 3, holy match Batman, we've got a best of 3 on our hands. So, map number 3, this is Season, knifing for sides, and it all comes down to this. We've seen a lot of insane plays. Ignite coming out with the 16-1 no one expected. Phoenix Fire coming back on the second map, and although you could say that they had a great chance going into it after a 16-1 scoreline on Inferno, I imagine there was a lot of people counting them out, but they come back, and Ignite, I feel like they come into this map, not the same feeling as how Phoenix Fire came into that second one, a little bit discouraged, but definitely they wanted to take their map choice. So we see both teams getting each other's map choice, and it's going to be Ignite allowed to choose the side. So they are going to be starting on the T side of Season. I am Sprawl. By my side is Bach. We are more than excited to bring you map number 3 of this upper bracket round of 4 match.
What's interesting is Ignite opts to take the CT side.
They didn't choose CT, my bad.
I think that this could be Phoenix Fire's map because of their experience on the map. This It looks like we had an issue there with our TeamSpeak. We do apologize, guys. But what we were saying was that it's interesting that Ignite took the CT side, and I think this could be Phoenix Fire's map to take because of the fact that they have a little more experience outside of Go. Something people don't really realize is that Season was a huge map prior to CSGO. In CSGO, it has not been that popular. And I know that the new version with this beautiful reskin by FMP1 is gaining in popularity, and a lot of people want to see it added to the competitive rotation inside of CS, just like Cash was. But this map as a whole has not really been wholly supported by the professional community in Go, whereas in Source it was a big map. So if you've been playing prior to Go, you know the map. A lot of these guys on Ignite are younger players. They have maybe not as much experience on this map. Although that could play into their favor because they might know the new version of Season better than maybe Phoenix Fire does. It really could go either way. But right now, I'm giving the nod to Phoenix Fire. I think it's going to be a very close one, though. I'm thinking 16-12. I don't know about you, Sprawl.
I think it's going to be close. I agree with that scoreline, 16-12, and yeah, we'll see. The thing is, I don't know which team's going to do it. Phoenix Fire, I agree in the experience aspect. We'll see. They face some solid teams on this map. Again, go back to Torqued. They were able to close things out on this third map there. So, who knows what's going to happen. But we do see Ignite on that CT side. We're just waiting for things to... We're waiting for players, rather, to ready up. And I am going to take this opportunity to mention we got a couple giveaways going on, guys. So... if you guys want to follow the channel, that would be much appreciated. We've got a follower giveaway at 60,000 followers, so we're not far off at all. And that will be a minimal wear case hardened AK-47, so not too shabby. As we do have the subscriber giveaway as well, and you can see the information for that in the top left-hand corner. That is a minimal wear Karambit Blue Steel. And that is brought to you in part by opskins.com. Shout out to them. Again, we're just waiting for these players to ready up here, and it looks like we're about to go live as we got everybody ready to rock. Alright, so pistol round about to go live here. Ignite on the CT side, Phoenix Fire on the T side. It all comes down to this one map. It's been an epic series thus far, a lot of unexpected, and could we have more of it here? And it looks like we're going to see an A-side play from Phoenix Fire. What is it looking like in the A-side setup? actually a lot of information gained as Jacob, Paul Newman pushing through at B. They're going to be already rotating over. You can see Sick and Paul Newman already headed over. And that's one of the downsides about the CT side on this map is really long rotates, but with a read like this and Sick heading over already, they should have a good opportunity when they go to take this site.
And here comes the execute. They're going to push out onto Horseshoe. And there's a player close. He's going to go down. Vice gets one on Roberts. Ellie and Justin there to take down Vice. And Reki Sick with a one tap of his own. It's going to be a 3v3 here. Sick on upper has to come up big. It peeks out. One taps Adway. Peeking yet again. Not able to find out Silent. But another kill. Sick is just insane. Picking up where he left off in the last map. Takes down Justin. And now it's down to Silent here. A 1v2. He pushes all the way out into mid. And he's going to try and catch out Jacob here. Jacob with the knife out. Somehow Silent does not find the shot. And Sick escapes him as well, so now he's going to get pinched in here. Jacob with the frag. That could have been Phoenix Fire's round. Instead, some impressive individual play yet again from Sick, picking up 3. And it's going to secure the deal for Ignite on the CT side of Season.
Yeah, that's a big pickup here for Ignite. And again, that was that quick rotate. He was able to make it over there, and although they were getting some frags as they entered the site, Sick is a guy. He comes in with the frag, so gets 3. And now, Phoenix Fire doing what they're known for. They got Tech 9 and Armor. Deagle actually on Adweight. P250 on Roberts. So they're opting for a B-side play here. Jacob playing from upper. He's just kind of stutter peeking towards down below. And he is going to make contact here in just a moment. And he takes significant damage. Actually gets dropped. So that's a big pickup here. Sick, though. Definitely the player that you want alone holding as his teammate goes down, but he gets dropped after only getting 1, so this is looking like a great round for Phoenix Fire. They've got the bomb down. Vice moving up the Tech 9 in hand. Reki does drop Roberts. It is a 3v3 here.
And Paul Newman's going to pick up 1, picks up 2 at the 5-7, so now it's down to Silent, and he's been in this situation before. He's in pit right now, not able to spot the frag on the first one. Paul Newman drops! They're getting into a pistol duel here. Paul Newman loses the duel, but Reki is there to trade him out. They're going to get the defuse here with enough time left on the clock for Reki to get this. Oh my gosh, a very close round there. Ignite almost losing it in round number 2. And there's something that needs to be said. You know, we said that Ignite took CT side on Season. This is not exactly a CT-sided map. It's a very even map, and if you don't know it, it's actually T-sided because the rotate times for the CT team are very long. If they get the bomb down in B, it's very hard to get from A to B in time to actually take a calculated retake, as opposed to just having to rush in and get the bomb. So, if Ignite is not prepared for that, Phoenix Fire could get a couple of surprise rounds here, and they almost got that one. Ignite wins by the skin of their teeth.
And we're going to see another B-side play. They've got all the Tech 9s they need. It looks like Ellie's actually lining up a smoke to head on in as well. So it's going to be interesting here. Jacob does spot out Adweight, and he's going to get that smoke down. So a little bit of cover. Sick is fully blind right now as they're making their way into sight, and Sick is completely unnoticed here. He is going to get that 1 frag, but Justin with the trade. The bomb hasn't been planted. Jacob gets a lot of spray that lands, and it will be a 2v4 here, but Roberts gets Reki, and this round's not over yet. They've got 1 in lower, 1 in upper. Ellie tries to make something happen. Jacob with the USP takes off his head, and Roberts now in a 1v3. There's a very expensive rounds from the CT side, but they're able to hang on here. So obviously that's preferable than losing the round outright, but definitely still some good work from Phoenix Fire, as we are going to see Roberts try and make something happen. Vice will put him away, though, and the 3rd round for Ignite. Phoenix Fire, the issue is that they bought in those last 2 rounds, so yeah, they're able to... Nah, even so, I don't know what they're going to go for here. Ellie's going to have to rock that Tech 9. It's going to be a bit of a kitchen sink buy here, as Ricky Rapp would say, for this T side. So a Galil on Roberts, not exactly the equipment they were hoping to come into the 4th round with.
Yeah, obviously not. They had a couple of opportunities there, but they just couldn't capitalize on them, and it's going to be putting them into a very weak buy here. Not a lot of grenades on their side. They do have a couple AKs. Jacob gets aggressive, takes down Adway, but Justin is there to respond. Makes it a 4v4. Roberts down to 13 HP, and it looks like they're going to be pushing towards the B bomb site right now. So another execute onto B, and Ignite has already rotated in. So very quick on the retake. This is what you need to do on the CT side of this map is you need to bite on that take hard. They're going to get one in Sick. Reki responds with 2 frags of his own, takes down Silent and Justin. Ellie is there to take him down. Vice spots out Roberts, and now it's down to Ellie. Vice rips his head off with the AK, so that's another round for Ignite. 4-0 right now on the CT side of Season. And like we said, this is T-sided, so Phoenix Fire needs to make something happen soon. But they're going to be going into another eco here, probably another Tech-9 armor buy, so we'll see what they can do. It'll be interesting to see if they go back to A. They've been going B the last few rounds, and they've had a couple of close calls, but not able to make anything happen. And it does look like they're going to go for a subway to A. So imagine they're going to take subway and just rush out a horseshoe here and try and overwhelm the site.
Yeah, Ellie's going to try and bring some attention over here as he flashes into the halls near B. So it's a little bit of noise that might keep these B players on site a little bit longer, and that's what's important here, being that, again, those rotates oh so long. Reki's pushed up mid, so that's a lot of information. He doesn't hear anything, doesn't see anything. It's most likely going to be kind of that sewers subway, like you were saying, over to A, and it is Paul Newman with only a Tech-9 here. He's playing from J-Hall, working the long distance, and he's just going to spray his heart out as he's full blind. And Vice will be able to get the first frag, but a bomb plant, that's going to be great for Phoenix Fire. They want to try and secure this round, though. Sick takes down Ellie. And Vice up from upper is going to put some damage onto Justin. Reki finishes that frag. Adweight goes down. It's a 2v1 here where Roberts with the Tech-9, he's got a great opportunity. Tears off the head of Vice and takes down Reki as well. Flips that butterfly knife around like he knows what he's doing. He definitely does, and picks up that round. That was a nice one. Phoenix Fire, they needed to put a round on the board, and they finally do.
And that was kind of an interesting setup from Ignite. They played very passive on A. That's how you want to play that, but, I mean, we're talking about the Tech-9. And I'm not going to repeat my opinion on the gun. I think I've said it enough times at this point, but that's kind of the reason why that worked for Phoenix Fire. It shouldn't have. Ignite played that perfectly, but look at what they're doing right now. They're pushing up on B right now. A 3-man stack, and they're just going to get mowed down. Adweight and Silent taking out Jacob Reki. Sick is there as well. He's going to get completely demolished by the AK of Roberts. So now it's a 2v5. Silent down to 1 HP. Roberts at 25. They might be able to pick up some frags here if they can just spot those players out. But this is a very clean round so far for Phoenix Fire.
And Silent on 1 HP. He's going to want to escape this site fairly early, and you can see he's doing so. Just waiting for exits, or the CT players. But it doesn't look like any of them on that T side are actually exiting out the CT side, so they're not going to get anything for this. They'll be able to keep their pistols, as obviously they'll head back over towards CT spawn. Vice actually checks in sight, spotted Adweight for just a moment, but didn't get any bullets off. So it's going to be 4-2 here. Phoenix picks up their second round, and they're able to keep all their players alive. So that means definitely a good spot for their economy. We take a peek. Roberts, he's at 9K right now, so great position to be in. Ignite, on the other hand, they are going to be buying, but FAMAS on Jacob, and not a heck of a lot of utility. We see 2 of these players without any nades at all. So, not exactly what they were hoping for, but at the same time, rifle round for both teams. We can see that trying to work T-stairs on the T side.
They're gonna be pushing up catwalk here from mid. And actually, you do see some players pushing up in mid as well. Bomb is making its way up mid, so it looks like they might be trying to take either CT through J-Hall or go towards jail. They are going to get the pick in mid right now. Roberts manages to take down Reki. It's going to make it a 5v4, and they're going to execute towards jail side. Jacob there with the FAMAS, trades out, drops Ellie, and he's off the board. Going to go for a repeat, gets one more, and Roberts Justin gunned down from behind by Sick. And all of a sudden, it's a 3v2, 58 seconds left in the round. Bomb down over towards jail. Sick holding it with a long angle from his M4, but Adweight coming out on the flank. Sick's got to be careful here. Adweight coming around from jail, just sitting on the other side of that smoke. And if Adweight plays this right, this is his kill to take. It's just a matter of who's going to peek first, who's going to find the frag. Sick just waiting around the corner ever so patiently. Adweight coming around the bend. He's going to peek, and he is going to clean off Sick. So now it's a 2v2. Vice and Paul Newman versus Silent and Adweight. Adweight, another nice shot. taking out Vice, and now it's a 2v1. 23 seconds left. Paul Newman way out of position.
Yeah, he's in a really rough spot without a kit and such. He's hoping it's a B-side play, but he knows deep down. They've rotated over to that A site, and bomb has been planted. Again, without a kit, this is a rough situation for him. I'm scanning the site right now. I do not see any of his brethren dead with a kit. So he will be able to get one. So Adwait, though, will come up with that frag. So Adwait, big round for him. The 3K, and he kind of takes that really difficult situation where the CTs kind of have the bomb in a great spot. He cleans that up. So that's a big round for him. Some individual play, and that's kind of been the story of this match. Like we've been saying, a lot of individual play coming out. Yeah, there's been a lot of team play as well, but definitely some highlights. As Ignite, they're going to be on the eco. They got no money. Fenix Fire starting to put some rounds on the board. They've got 3 in a row here. Like I was saying last round, their bank is growing. They've got plenty of money. They just want to get into a spot where, and actually they're already there. If they lose a round, they'll be able to buy up once again. And being that Ignite does not have much of a bank, that puts them in a pretty pressured situation.
It's important to note, though, that because this is a T-sided map, as long as Ignite can keep it close, 8-7, 9-6, anything honestly around that level, they'll be happy. It's just they need to know how to play the T side. It's not necessarily something that just naturally comes to you. We are going to see a pause here, and that came from the side of Fenix Fire. I don't know what's going on just yet. No information in chat from any of these players to let us know what's going on. In fact, the players on Ignite kind of wondering the same thing. So we are sitting at a pause right now. They're saying someone had to go to the bathroom. Can't break nature. There's no pause for nature, so I guess that's what's happening. They just had to take a quick bathroom break. But yeah, I mean, if Ignite can keep this close, moving into the T side with even a slight advantage, they'd be pretty happy. I just don't know what to expect from them, and I think that actually plays into their favor because that's what's been their strong point this whole tournament. Is no one knows what to expect from them. They're just there's a big question mark over their team, and so far they've been impressing me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, certainly. That 16-1, that's hard to overlook, even if they do drop this match in the third map here. That is a great performance from them. So, and thus far, 4 rounds on that CT side. Like you said, they can keep it close here. Definitely moving into that T side, they're going to have a good opportunity. But Fenix Fire, on the other hand, they got to keep up this pressure. And again, they got the money to do so. They're able to buy if they lose a round, but they don't really want to lose that round. Again, T-sided, you want to get as many rounds as you can. So they're pushing 3 down through the sewers on that T side, but we can see an aggressive player out here. That's Reki, and right behind is going to be Vice, and he goes down as well. So nothing working for the CT side. Paul Newman takes a flashbang to the chest. I imagine that's not exactly painful, but about as blind as you could ever get is popping right in front of you. So Sick now in a 1v5. He does have armor. He'd like to get some sort of exit frag here, and I don't blame him, as he's going to be hiding out in this little cubby, and quite honestly, it's a little bit difficult to, oh, he actually gets a little bit antsy, and he peeks out. Silent takes him down. A flawless round for Fenix Fire. Again, their economy is soaring right now.
And on a kind of unrelated note, I remember reading, I think it was on the Reddit, a long time ago now. Someone actually said that they should make flashbangs have a small explosion radius so that if it hits you, it actually does like 10, 20, 30 damage. Because in real life, if a flashbang exploded on you, that would do a lot of damage and could potentially kill you. So I kind of agree with it, but obviously this isn't a realism game. This is CS. So they make it as real as it needs to be. So
dude, I can jump scout in real life.
Yeah,
Come on,
exactly. I can jump and shoot a sniper rifle with perfect accuracy in real life.
Easy.
Nonetheless, it's a 4-4 right now. Fenix Fire making a play towards B. Very slow and calculated right now. Only 2 players on that site.
Yeah, and it's Jacob and Sick. So Paul Newman playing with an op, and he's really passively playing out mid, and that actually leaves room for him to quickly rotate over here. So he's going to be an op and upper, but Jacob goes down. Sick goes down as well. And those are massive pickups, as now it's a retake scenario. Paul Newman gets 1, but the nade will put an end to him. Again, he had no armor. So I believe, I don't know how much damage was done before that, but that nade must have landed pretty close to on. 2v4, they're going to be saving here. And again, T-sided map, you want to keep some weapons on the field, as they've got no money on the Ignite side. So they don't really mind dropping this round if they can keep these rifles alive and well. Reki holding an angle where he gets a nice shot onto Silent. So at this point, although it's nice to take weapons out of the T side's hands, they're more on the hunt because they have plenty of money, even if they go down trying to hunt these CTs.
Yeah, obviously they want to take these rifles out of their hands if they can. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. They're pretty far away at this point, and there's a lot of places to hide on this map. It's not like Cache where there's almost nowhere to hide, so they're able to save those rifles. It's going to be big as their money is really not looking so hot. On the other side, money is going through the roof. Adwait at 13K, Roberts at 13.9, Ellie's got 87.50. All of these players have a lot of money. One thing, though, that we're not seeing is an alt buy from them, which is a little surprising. You know, that alt play in mid used to be a big factor on this map, not so much anymore. Thanks to being able to smoke over the map, the limitation of skyboxes was there in Source, not here in Go. And you do see Paul Newman not able to come up with a frag in mid, gets smoked out pretty early. Jacob, though, with his M4 is going to spot out Adwait, and it's going to give Ignite a small advantage here. Jacob down to 24, Paul Newman at 42. And here comes a push on mid. Ellie's already in jail right now, and it looks like that's the direction they're going to be heading in as of right now. Silent is going to spot out Reki towards Cat, and that's going to make it a 4v4. Still no clear direction just yet from the T side here, just getting mid control and kind of controlling the entire map because of it. 55 seconds left on the round. Still no clear direction from either from the T's for that matter. And we'll see what they're going to do as the clock is beginning to tick away.
I think inevitably it'll be an A-side play, and as we saw, one of the T's going down in jail, and he had no one to back him up. So now they're heading over in through Cat, and they spot out Vice. Paul Newman gets a frag onto Roberts, and Vice will go down. He puts a lot of damage onto Silent, though. And Paul Newman's still alive, very low, though. He almost gets that headshot, and he peeks out against Silent, takes him out. It's a 2v2 here as, again, Silent holding this angle on J Hall, and it's a nice one as only his head popping up. Sick in a 1v2. We've seen some massive plays from him, and he tries to spray down Justin there. Silent wants this ace, and I don't blame him. He's got Silent in his crosshairs through the wall, obviously, and he peeks out, gets the ace. A massive play from Silent. Some more individual play on the T side, so that all started with that Cat pick, and it definitely developed from there. So a slow round from Fenix Fire, and they're able to just kind of pick apart Ignite. Now Ignite with not a heck of a lot of money here. We're going to see actually some armor pistols from them, as maybe wanting to take another round and stop this kind of pain train from Fenix Fire, but Fenix Fire, looks like there's no stopping them as of yet.
Yeah, and Ignite just really doesn't seem to... this is what I was concerned about. They just don't really seem to have much for this map. And it's kind of the unfortunate nature when you take a map that is not necessarily that popular in the pool. Players are going to be inexperienced. I should say inexperienced. That's the proper word. So right now, Ignite kind of getting caught off guard. They're not necessarily ready to play this map. This isn't like Inferno or Mirage, maps that have been in the rotation for a while. So right now, Fenix Fire just looking like this could be their map to take it.
And we're going to see 3 frags for the T side. Sick and Jacob, last one's alive, and might be able to catch out Adwait, and they will. So it's going to be an AK-47 for them. And it looks like they're getting aggressive here. Roberts, though, will take down both of them. As you could have maybe assumed that they were going to try and hunt down that weapon, but maybe not that quickly. Roberts catches them completely off guard. And a 4-7 scoreline. This is looking pretty good for Fenix Fire. There was a lot of damage done early for Ignite. 4 rounds on the board is not a bad situation for them. But now, nearing the end of this first half, they need to make something else happen. They need that 5th round to kind of kick off a little bit more for them. Fenix Fire has put 7 in a row. They are not saving for this half anymore. They have all the money they need to pretty much buy out the rest of this half. So great position for them. On Ignite's side, again, they need to come up bigger than this, and Sick going down. He was that highlight player. He came up big in pistol, but now he's getting dropped over near this B site, and this is actually a complete fake, as we can see on the mini-map, and Ignite has bought it completely. Finally rotating back over is Vice, but could it be too late here?
They looks like, yeah, look at this. This A take right now from Phoenix is just solid. They're pushing in towards upper though, and that's going to be silent going down. That's going to thin their hold here just a little bit. They catch a nade over towards Horseshoe. Justin down to 75, Adwade at 99. Both players holding from Horseshoe. Gonna have a hard time. I'm trying to spot out that other player. That's Ellie in mid, holding from behind the box and just playing peekaboo with Jacob. Jacob completely caught off guard. Roberts picks off 2 and Reki and Paul Newman from J-Hall, and now it's on Vice. A 1v3, and he's gonna take a nade. And that's going to be the 8th round now for Phoenix Fire. Things starting to spiral out of control for Ignite. And again, this is something we've talked about a few times. I have the voice commands, or I can hear their in-game chatter. And right now, Ignite's not too thrilled with their performance. They're getting a little frustrated, a little frazzled, but they need to remind themselves that this is a T-sided map. They need to calm down, take a few more rounds, try to close this out, maybe with 6 on the board, move over to the favored T-side and see if they can make something happen. Because if you get into that mindset that you've already lost, if you get frustrated, we've already talked about this before, you start making plays you don't need to take. And this could be one of them right now. As these players on B get aggressive, they're able to come up with 1 frag, but it's going to be traded out, so it's now 4 versus 4, and the B defense is thinned out.
Yeah, it's sick. He's playing from the second pillar here, and they haven't spotted him out just yet. Silence playing very passive in lower. He's dropped down to 26 HP, and he's just waiting for an aggressive CT player, and Sick will be able to drop him, and that's the bomb down. So having that bomb up near there means that they have to commit to this, and Adwade takes a shot as he picks it up. It's a 4v3 as they've got Roberts working upper. Finally, Ellie's going to be joining them as he was lollygagging a little bit, but it's a 3v3. Smokes, very, very nice smokes for the T side. CTs are going to have a really rough time here. Vice in upper, Paul Newman fully blind from the CT side, and Reki in jail. And a re-smoke for the T side once again. Vice comes up big. He gets 1, so with 3v2, and Ellie is playing from lower, and Roberts in pit, and how do they play this? Vice needs to be very careful as Roberts does go down and they smoke off lower, so this is their opportunity, but they don't have a kid and they're realizing it. Vice is going to stick the bomb and he should be able to get it. Yeah, he will be able to get that defused, but they had to force the issue there. Ignite with their 5th round, that's a big one for them as they're finally able to crack Phoenix Fire and pick up, again, their 5th round of this half.
But every single player on Phoenix on 5-figure salaries right now.
Oh, yeah.
They're looking so good. They have so much money. I mean, how many rounds did they win in a row? They won 8 in a row. So the fact that Ignite just won one is great, but they need to close this out. They need to make this 8-7. If they make this 8-7, at least it kind of undoes the damage that was done. But I don't know what to expect from them on the T side. You know, yes, this is a T-sided map, but if you don't know it, it's going to be CT-sided. It doesn't matter what map you play. If you're not prepared for the T side, it's a CT-sided map. So right now they just need to close this out, make it as even as possible so they can move into the next half with a pretty even scoreline. And we're going to see things starting out nicely here as Reki does get 2. Jacob's going to get 1. Sick gets another. So now it's on Justin to try and clutch for his round with the ace. He's going to pick off Jacob, but he's down to 23 HP. Has the bomb in hand, but a difficult task here for him. It's a 1 versus 4, heavily lit. I can imagine that this is going to be Ignite's round. Make it 8-6. So moving into round 15, they might finally have that chance to take it to 8-7, a much closer round score than I would have anticipated based on the way that things have been going.
Yeah, Phoenix Fire, they might let up a little bit here, and that's something that kind of characteristically kind of see of North American teams. They get a little bit comfortable, and then, although they had a really dominant, like Phoenix Fire, they had a dominant 8 rounds, finally things swing back in the favor of Ignite, and great timing for them as this looks to be their 6th round. And again, if they can make it 8-7 and it's a T-sided map, it's not too shabby for them. So Justin will come out on Cat and will get dropped as he's got very little HP. Vice just tickles him to death. And the 6th round on the board, Ignite, they come back alive. They got 4 very early on. The first 4 rounds were all theirs. Were all theirs. And then we saw the 5th round, Phoenix Fire was able to make something happen. And since then, they were leading the charge, but 2 in a row now for Ignite means that 6 rounds. We're in the final round of the half. Like I said, 8-7 would be a great scoreline for Ignite. And Phoenix Fire, they got to be thinking, we had such a strong T side. How are we now ending up with this scoreline? And it really comes down to the pistol round and the anti-ecos. And Roberts will open up this round, so that's a little bit going for them, as it's only going to be one player on this B site, and that's going to be Sick. So definitely one of the standout players on the Ignite lineup, and they're going to try and spray him down in upper. He hasn't spotted anybody just yet. He will spot out Roberts and tries to get ad weight, but the 3v5 here, this is going to be a rough retake.
Yeah, Sig needed to come up with at least one there and wasn't able to get anything, unfortunately, so his efforts go unnoticed. He had some shots that came close, but just wasn't able to make it happen. Makes it a 5 versus 3, or 4 versus 3. Now it's a 4 versus 2. Paul Newman picks off one through the smoke. Roberts did take Vice down. Recky's going to spot out Ellie and make it a 3v2. Paul Newman needed to come up with that frag on Justin, who was in pit. So now Recky, a 1v3. Clock is ticking away, and it's pretty much undefusable at this point. So it's going to be 9-6 moving into the half. Phoenix Fire only 3 rounds up on Ignite, which is actually much better than this could have been for Ignite, as they had lost 8 rounds in a row. So the fact that they brought it back to 9-6 is okay in itself. If they can take Pistol, we're looking at a tie score. So this game isn't really in either team's possession at this point, and it is map number 3, so whoever takes this is going to move on in our upper bracket. The other team is going to move down into the lowers, and I'm not sure who they're going to face off against. I'd have to pull up the brackets to check, but we're just going to wait for these players to ready up before we go live with the second half.
And of course, what a way to have this third map go. Very close scoreline moving into the second half, and although the first map was a 16-1, this is still a close best of 3, obviously, with Phoenix Fire picking up that second map, and now they do have the lead, but moving on to the lesser favored side. So all the players have readied up. We are moving into, I'd like to say the final half, but overtime is always possible, so I'm not going to count that out just yet, especially with these even score lines. So the question is, how does Ignite play this T side? And you'd mentioned it already. They looked a little bit inexperienced on the map, just a tad, but we'll see how this happens. Obviously, they know the rotations on this map and how large they are. How does Ignite take advantage of this is the question, and Vice is not going to buy a single thing, and I'm thoroughly confused.
That is interesting. Not picking up a single item. I'm not sure if that's strategic play, just trying to maybe save and
I think you
go
just
for
forgot.
an up-buy early.
How do you forget that, though?
I don't know. Seems
Now,
interesting to me.
He stumped us.
I mean, it's a pistol round. You know that you're going to be able to build back the economy, especially if you win. So you want to give your team every chance possible to take it. So the fact that he buys nothing is very confusing, unless it's a glitch and we're just not seeing grenades. I mean, they don't have any grenades on the team. They only have a decoy on Sick. So it's going to be a hard take here over on A. We got 3 players pushing up towards Horseshoe right now. Justin spots out one. Sick is there for the trade. Gets another one on upper. That's ad weight down. So Sick down to 23 HP. And he's going to work with Jacob to take down the man in J-Hall. That's Ellie off the board. So now it's a 4v2. But these players are lit on the T side. Vice at 4. Sick at 23. They're just going to play very passively, holding from Horseshoe. Sick's going to push up and try and get in a better position onto upper. Jacob's there to gun down Silent. Recky comes out of the peekaboo corner, and that's going to be the round 4 Ignite. The pistol round they needed to win to potentially tie the score at 9-9 here. We'll see if they can chain these anti-eco rounds together.
And Vice is flexed, and he's like, yep, 4,300. Ugh, saved on pistol round, and I got plenty of dough. So, Sick came up massive there, and same was in the first round of this map. That was Sick once again. So, he is definitely one of those players that shows a lot of potential, especially on those pistol rounds. So, already we see a really nice nade stack. Let's get Paul Newman down very low, and actually 3 of the CTs still aggressing up here, but we're going to see a pick on that B site. Silent goes down, and you can see that prompts the bomb carrier and Paul Newman to head on over. And we do have Recky inside of the vent, so he's going to be waiting for a rotate through jail. We do have a quick CT member heading up into upper. That's Roberts, and he's obviously going to get the info that it is obviously B-side play, but we actually don't see a single... I think Justin is absolutely convinced that there's still a T at T stairs, but as he's going to find out, there is no such person, and this is going to be 3 CTs left alive, and there's no kit on them. They're just looking for exit frags. You see ad weight actually boosted up on the white track. That's a nice angle for him to hold, but I do believe all these Ts will be exiting out through their spawn side, so Justin, he is the only one with an opportunity, and he was able to clutch the last map in the final round, 1v4, but he doesn't get a single frag here as the jumping Recce MP7s him, and that's another round here for Ignite, and not losing too much as well means that their bank will start growing here, so they might make it to that tie scoreline, and then being that it is a T-sided map, advantage to Ignite, but Phoenix Fire, I don't know, we could see some madness still occur.
That was what this map is all about. The slightly slow rotate from Phoenix Fire put them in a position where there was no way they were ever going to get that bomb. They had to play exit kills, because even if they had kits, they were at a point where they would have had to run into the sites because they took so long to rotate on the bomb. Right now, they're going to be going on a mid push here, and Paul Newman with the Tech 9 spots out Ellie with a nice little peekaboo headshot. Silent, though, creeping up around the corner, catches him off guard, so that's going to be a Tech 9 in the hands of him, and you know just how good those players are with the Tech 9. That push mid not really fruitful for Phoenix Fire. They only get one frag, but it is traded out, so it's a 4v4 right now. Pistols across the board for Phoenix Fire. A Galil and 2 AKs, MP7 as well. No real clear direction just yet from Ignite. They're very much taking their time, and this is a wise play. They know what they're facing against in this eco round from Phoenix Fire. Phoenix Fire, meanwhile, just kind of the blob floating around the map. Everyone kind of working together. They are going to split up, make it a 2-2 hold. Two players working towards upper right now. So we'll see what they have here, as it does look like it's going to be an A take. They're already in sight. Bombs going down. Justin is going to spot out Sick, pushing up aggressively on upper, and that's a big frag. He's been a very strong player for them. Adley with a nice nade connects on device. Jacob is there with the Galil. Gets Roberts, gets Adway as well. He's got to come up big here. Recce goes down to Silent, and now it's on Jacob to come up with the 4K to end this round, and it's not going to happen. That Tech 9 drop to Silent. Bit of a misplay there. Phoenix Fire picks up the third round in the second half, and they're going to go up 10-8 and potentially break the money a little bit on the side of Ignite.
Yeah, great round there. Silent comes up with 3 big frags, and Justin as well taking down Sick. Sick tried to get aggressive in upper, didn't realize that obviously there was 2 CTs waiting for him. So he does get dropped, and the round falls apart from there on out. So 8-10 the scoreline. Phoenix Fire stops the bleeding. We will see Ignite, though, with another bye here. Phoenix can stop them in this round. We're not going to see what Phoenix Fire was able to do in stacking so many rounds together, getting that kind of unbreakable bank. Right now, Ignite, their bank is definitely breakable, as we do see them kind of spread out around the map. The bomb is in sewers, so kind of rotated, or rather just positioned right near that A site. Vice and Paul Newman, they want to work out mid, but they're actually smoked off here, so it's going to slow things down even more. And actually, Jacob takes down Silent. I think that was a little bit of swapping positions through the smoke. I think Silent pushed that and goes down, so a little bit of unnecessary aggressive play. Yeah, that's a lot of information to gain, but at the same time, losing that player, now the man advantage for the already T-sided map. Now with the man advantage, where do they decide to take the bomb? Again, it is in the back of A. They could rotate out as they still have 50 seconds here. Sick with 1, Vice with another. This is a 5v2 that's going to be very, very rough for Phoenix Fire, and especially in the economic sense. Roberts, he's going to be forced to save, and that's a good idea from him, because we can see there is 4,200 on Justin, 4,500 on Silent, so they got a little bit of money, but it should be an eco round coming out in the next round. They will be able to drop some pistols, and I imagine they'll probably armor up. This is Phoenix Fire we're talking about, right? The team that goes Tech 9 armor pretty much any chance they can. Imagine they're going to pistol up, armor up, and especially with Roberts with this rifle.
Yeah, that would make the most sense in my mind. Ignite looking really strong here. This was the bounce back round they needed. After losing the last one, they needed to take this one in impressive fashion, and they have, only losing 1 player great at the end, and they're going to lose the rifle on Roberts as well.
Vice
drops to the bomb, but it doesn't really matter. They have enough money to rebuy, but that actually is the kind of thing that could play into effect later in the game, depending on what happens. But yes, we're going to see probably a full eco now from Phoenix Fire. They might have forced bought in the last round, gone for the, or if they had kept that M4, they might have forced bought and gone for that kind of split buy, maybe 2 rifles, maybe an SMG. But instead, they're going to be sitting on 5 pistols, and it looks like we have a pause coming in here on the side of Phoenix Fire.
I think they went to pause it, and then Roberts immediately went to unpause it, and now Vice is asking for a pause. So I don't know what's going on, I'm not going to lie. But Phoenix Fire, if they're taking a pause, I imagine it's kind of a tactical move. As again, they are up a round, but this round, they're definitely outgunned in a lot of respects. So they do have 5/7 across the board. Again, those players with some money were able to drop and kind of make it rain on their teammates with those 5/7s, but question is, how do they play it? Doesn't look like they're going to pick up nades, and we've seen a lot of kind of nade stacks in mid, so I like that they're not going for that once again here. It is an effective strategy, just not if you go for it every single time, and especially Ignite. They're starting to realize that last time they went for it, actually, they dropped a Molotov at the bottom of the stairs just so they couldn't push up any further. So definitely Ignite kind of learning a little bit in that respect, adapting to the play of Phoenix Fire, but how do they play this here? And again, we're just waiting for this pause as... And we're in round number 20, map 3. This is the upper bracket of RGN's North America Intercontinental. So, or the Intercontinental, the NA region here. So, we do have a couple giveaways going on, guys. So, just to let you know, you got that follower giveaway going on at 60,000 followers. And I don't know what our current count is, but I imagine it's getting pretty darn close there. So, that's a minimal wear AK case hardened. And again, I say it every time. I still don't know how much blue's on that. But regardless, and for our subs, we got that Karambit in the top left-hand corner of the stream that you can see there. But we are going to be going live into round 20. So again, not a heck of a lot of equipment. Actually, Justin opts to pick up a nade and a smoke. Silent with a flash and a smoke and armor. So where do they go with this is the question. It looks like three players heading over towards B. I don't know if they're just going to hold the site or get aggressive. It looks like they're just holding angles, and the B push coming in from Ignite. Vice tears off the head of Adwait, and still from Pit, Silent alive and well. He takes down Jacob, but will go down shortly after. So they've got Justin inside of jail, and a player in upper as well, but they spot out Ellie. Pushing through the smoke, though, is Justin. He does drop the bomb carrier, but Sick puts him down shortly after. So Roberts all alone running through T-spawn right now. Probably forced to just look for exits once again, but it's not a bad eco round. They take down 2, but at this point, obviously, round wins would be nice.
And Ignite's looking like they're going to tie it up here, 10-10. So after losing multiple rounds in a row on the CT side, they bring it back enough that they put it within tie range. So 10-10, and they're looking pretty good on the T side. Sick is just playing, again, out of his mind, hitting multiple frags. Obviously, his score 17 and 15 doesn't necessarily represent what he's been doing. He's just been hitting shot after shot, holding angles, and you see him getting the last frag of the round onto Roberts. And again, that tie score is going to be big. And he, right now, Sick is the player for Ignite. If he can stay alive, he makes things happen for them. He opens up sights. In previous games, it was on Paul Newman's op. Right now, it's all on 6AK. So if he can stay alive round in, round out, I give them the advantage because he's just counter-playing Phoenix Fire so beautifully.
Yeah, and they're going to be pushing 2 players out into mid quickly here on that CT side. They're going to have their number 7, Adwait. He's actually getting aggressive as they've smoked off T-stairs, and Justin's actually made his way through Squeaky. So he's actually going to drop a player, gets a pick, now he needs to fall back without getting traded, and he won't be able to make it all the way back to site, so some good work by him. Jacob pushed up near B. That flashbang rains in, and that makes way for Silent and Roberts to kind of get a little bit aggressive. They got a really nice crossfire here if they do opt to push B site, and looks like that's going to be the case. Jacob, though, spots out one of those players, so now Roberts in a bit of a rough spot here. He does significant damage to Jacob, but Jacob eventually gets him actually through the smoke there. So Jacob actually forcing the issue. He tries to drop another player, but Silent puts him down, and now it's Reki and Vice in a 2v4 where they've actually rotated these players completely off the A site. Reki's going to find that out in a moment, but Vice may be a little bit too far back to take advantage of this empty site. Ooh, nice shot, though.
Yeah, and Justin's going to be wrapping around from upper here. He might be able to catch this player out. That's going to be Reki sitting over towards Horseshoe. It is a 2v3. We'll see if they can make something happen here, but Reki's going to get gunned down. Vice gets the bomb plant, at least guarantees that money. Hits a wonderful shot on Justin, makes it a 2v1, but he is spotted out. Nades are going to rain out, not do enough. Ellie holding a strong angle with the scout, gets the kill. So Phoenix Fire rebounds here just a little bit. They're going to get round number 11. But the money on Ignite is good enough that they're going to be able to rebuy here coming into round 22. And potentially take it back again to 11-11. This is turning out to be a very close game. It's poised to be potentially an overtime match. And I don't remember the last time we saw overtime. I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been, quite honestly. Coming from, I'm trying to think back to our last tournament where we had a lot. I remember a lot of rounds kind of getting played out and such, but yeah, this is looking very close. 11-10. Ignite has now lost that round lead as they... Or, never mind. I'm just going to stop where I started there. Ignite picks up 2 frags. And that's going to be Phoenix Fire falling, but very lit are some of these T players. We see Reki, Vice, and Paul Newman all very lit as they push inside of the site. They do have the locational information on Justin, though. He is going to get naded down to 64. They still know, as he does peek out and get sick, but Roberts peeks at the same time that they try and get the trade, and Roberts comes up big, now creates a 1v2. But again, Justin, still the same one alive. They know that he's at Horseshoe here, so he might be able to come up big. This is the player that went 1v4 in the final round of map number 2. That was great spam. Paul Newman now down to 22 HP, and this is a similar looking situation to what we saw in that clutch from him, and actually Ignite is not playing around at all. They're just going to flash their way out of sight, and now rotating. Justin playing the guessing game here. He pushes right through towards J-Hall. Reki, though, holding a nice angle if he goes right through CT spawn. So it is a 1v2, but now positional advantage for the T's. Justin, if he doesn't check this corner, it could be good night for him, but he does check it, and he takes him down. Now 26 HP to 22. 1v1. It's Justin versus Paul Newman. The bomb planted in an incredible spot, way out in the open. Justin does have a kid, but this is going to be really difficult for him. He needs to find out some information here, but again, how does he play it? He walks up very, very slow. He doesn't tap the bomb at all, and he doesn't beat that corner. He gets blindsided by Paul Newman, and that is going to be it. Ignite picks up their 11th round, and we did so much damage. 113 damage with grenades. That was massive for them. And again, Ignite pick up the round. Eco here for Phoenix Fire. This is a rough look for them.
That was one of those swing rounds. If Ignite loses, they're probably ecoing. If Phoenix Fire loses, they're probably ecoing. So that's what ended up happening. You know, it came down to that very close 1v1, but Phoenix Fire loses, and they're going to lose one early in the round here. That's Adway down in mid, thanks to the AK of Vice. Makes it a 5v4 early right now. So Ignite already looking like they could take the lead back. I think that would be the first time they've had the lead since Pistol Round. So they would be very happy to take that lead back. Reki's going to take out Ellie in mid. Paul Newman spots out Justin, makes it a 4v2. Roberts actually makes it the 4v2 with that Deagle. He's going to get one more. That's Silent actually picking up the frag on Reki. Vice there to drop him, though. So now it's a 3v1. Roberts down to 95 HP, running out towards Jay. He's going to book it back into mid, possibly try to come up on Cat, get one more frag or two, and then make this a very healthy eco round for the CT side of Phoenix Fire. But these players know exactly where he's going to be. They heard him running from a mile away. So Vice takes him off. A pretty standard eco round there for Phoenix Fire. Ignite gets the first lead since Pistol Round. So it has been 23 rounds since Ignite has held the lead. They got to be feeling good about this, and it's going to be back-to-back ecos for Phoenix Fire. So Ignite's going to be up potentially 2 rounds.
Yeah, Ignite's going to be feeling really, really solid here. They have the match in their grasp. Can they close it out is the question. They can take this round. It would mean 13-11. And there is about 3K on the field for the CTs. So should be able to get a bye in this next round, as they'll have, this will be, if they lose this one, the 3rd round. So loss bonus and all. They should be able to buy up in the next. And we are going to see Reki open things up as he was pushed up towards Squeaky Door. And Reki and Sick will move out onto Cat here, and Justin tries to peek out from top mid. Isn't able to find anything for it now. So add weight inside of A. Where do they opt to go, though? Ignite's just picking this eco apart. Trying to get aggressive on all angles right now is Phoenix Fire, and nothing's worked out for him. Add weight and Roberts left on the field. And they have pretty much well, they've got a little bit of information. Adwait knows they're posted up outside of mid, but it's not enough info to... Now Robert's realizing they could come from jail, and he sees one. How did he get that headshot? Are you kidding me? He takes down Reki, Vice trades, but Adwait now in a 1v4. See if he can get any frags in here. He's on 9 frags right now. I didn't realize that we have 3 of the Phoenix Fire members kind of, not necessarily carrying, but Adwait tears off the head of Jacob. So they do end up getting 2 frags on that eco round, but we're getting into deep waters here. 13-11. Ignite is looking poised to take this map.
They're trying to close it out if they can. They're up 2 rounds. This is the biggest lead they've had the entire map. And they are on the favorite T side. It's going to be a buy here for Phoenix Fire, but it's kind of an expensive one. And let me see here. They've won 3 in a row. So I think Phoenix Fire, if they lose this, they still could end up on the eco. The loss bonus might not be high enough. They'd be able to maybe armor up and get some strong pistols, depending on how close this round boils down. Vice is going to get tagged to 13 early. I believe that was over by mid. But it looks like it's going to be a B execute right now. Both players playing insight towards pit. One looks like he's back behind bomb box, one in pit. And right now, Ignite just slowing things down. They looked like they were going to rush out B, but now they're just holding off, waiting to see what they can make happen here. Very patient play for them. Very wise as well. There's a lot of players that were overplaying towards A have kind of pushed up aggressively and potentially over-rotated a little bit too much. Ellie's going to be in mid. Adwait back by jail. And then you have Justin pushing up towards Squeaky Door. So it looks like this A rotate here from Ignite could potentially work out.
Yeah, Justin was able to receive a lot of information checking towards sewers. Didn't see a single person. That's why we see this huge rotate, but Ignite just playing this so well. They're going to be pushing up Cat here. Justin finally realizes Adwait will be able to take down Vice, but that's not the issue, as we can see Reki come up to the side of Justin. Finally, he realizes, but gets picked off by Sick from sight. So this is going to be rough retake here for Phoenix Fire, and this is one of the rounds they desperately need. Ignite, they could move on to their 14th round, and this is going to be difficult, to say the least. Smoked off an upper right now are 2 of the CT players. 2 coming out from J Hall. Adwait takes on 6, so it's a 4v3. Now a little favorable. Reki is now going to get 1, but Paul Newman in a 1v3. He needs to come up big, and he won't, so Phoenix Fire, they pick up the round. It was very, very close for them. As you can see, even with a kid, it came down to the wire. So Phoenix Fire, they pick up that round, and they are going to survive to see another round here. On the T side, though, a lot of money to keep up that pressure. So Phoenix Fire, they cannot let their guard down here. They need to, they need to continue to put these rounds in.
Unfortunately, it's a lot of money on 1 or 2 players. Obviously, Paul Newman was at like 16K almost. Yeah, I think he had 1,400 or 14,000. So he's going to have to drop a few players to balance things out. But Ignite's lead trimmed down to 1 round, still pretty good for them considering how this map has played out. They need to make something happen here in round 26. They could potentially reset the loss bonus that had sort of built up as Phoenix Fire had lost 3 in a row. If they win this, though, Phoenix Fire will be able to rebuy. It will be a bit of a light buy, though, as they do have a few players sitting below 2K, so not necessarily ideal. If they lose this, they will be ecoing at a tie score of 13-13, potentially giving Phoenix Fire the lead yet again. So Ignite has to win this. They can't let this lead slip away.
Yeah, and Robert's getting a crucial opening frag there. Jacob trying to get peaky towards that B site, and if you get the pick, that's a great move, but he dies and doesn't get anything for it. Well, Robert's down to 14, so he gets a little bit for it, and Sick actually opens up this A site. So now Sick with another frag. Justin, though, on device, but Justin will go down, so it's a 3v2, and this is looking rough. But last time I said that, they were able to retake this scenario, though, a little bit different, as gonna be Silent left in a 1v3. He's going to flash his way out here. He kind of just needs to go for it, and he does. Gets dropped, and that's going to be the 14th round for Ignite. So they are poised here to definitely take this map, as we see no money on the field for Phoenix Fire. So this is really rough. That could have been the round that put away Phoenix Fire, as, again, they have to force up here, and they do, as they don't want to be fighting for that overtime. But how do they play it? They need to be very careful. Ignite is 1 round away from match point.
And I kind of disagree with this buy. I thought it made more sense to play for overtime than play for the win. And this is something you see from teams when they start to get a little overzealous. They start to get ahead of themselves, and they force by thinking we can take this, and then we'll break their economy and we'll mount a comeback. When in reality, you need to see things as they are. You need to realize that by giving them 15 and guaranteeing a full buy, you give yourself a better chance at potentially taking this map back. Instead, if they lose this, their money is going to be so broken, they're not going to be able to buy much of anything in the next round. So right now, Ignite needs to come up with the W here, and if they do, that's going to be pretty much it for Phoenix Fire. I mean, they'll be coming into round 28 with almost no money. They're going to start things off nicely on the Phoenix Fire side, a bit of a crossfire setup. Silent catches out Jacob. Sick, though, is going to do what he's been doing all game and take down Roberts, make it a 4v4, and they're already in A right now. 2 players pushed up in upper. That's Sick and I believe Reki. Sick gets one more frag for that AK in this round. He's going to take out Ellie. There's one in J-Hall, one on Cat. Nades rain out on Cat. Smokes on J-Hall. Justin on Subway, though, coming up with that flank. Might be able to catch out Vice, who's just sitting in sight. He's going to come around the corner. Gets gunned down by both players as they peek. So a bit of bad luck. Reki finds Silent, and now it's down to Adway, and they're going to lose that round. So Ignite goes up 15-12, and again, look at the money on the CT side. The most, the wealthiest player is Silent at 2,300. It's a very weak buy from them. So it looks like Ignite might take this here 16-12 and win this in a 2-1 and move on in the upper bracket.
Yeah, but we still have one more round here, but being that they spent a lot of money there, they did not want Ignite to win that round. So here they do obviously expend every penny they have. They do have armor on all their players. A little bit, Ellie's got a kit, so retake scenario could happen, but Ignite, again, they are one round away from continuing on in our upper bracket. Phoenix Fire, they actually came out of the lower bracket before, and they might have to do it again here. Roberts, though, taking down Reki. That's a nice start as they get one pick. But Sick will be able to connect there onto Ellie. Gets dropped down to 10 HP, so there is some lit players on this T side. 46 on Jacob, and Sick on 10 HP. So how do they play this? It looks like Sick's just posted up right outside. Ooh, Vice! He gets taken down as he's pushing from the vent area. Adweight comes up big with that headshot, and Phoenix Fire, they are not done yet. It is a 4v3 here with Sick on 10 HP, and they can take him down. Jacob gets dinked as well, so he's on 20 HP, and he's trying to tap away Adweight, but that's going to be Justin getting the frag. So 2 players left, Paul Newman and Sick, in a 2v4 with 25 seconds left. Ignite might drop this round, and Phoenix Fire, they're right back into this.
Paul Newman is going to open things up, though, and take out 2. That's Roberts and Justin down. Makes it a 2v2. They do have bomb in hand. Smoke's going to rain out on Cat, and it's down to Silent and Adway to hold this off here. And here comes a nade onto Cat. Might take this player out. Nope, he gets around the corner just in time. Sick goes for the peek, and Silent is not going to be able to get the frag. So now the retake here from Silent. He's trying to find an angle on this player in pit. Finally peeks and takes him, and now it's on Paul Newman here. Paul Newman could potentially win this for his team. Silent pushing up aggressively. He's going to get the kill, and I believe they have no kit, so they got to stick the bomb immediately. I'm not sure if they have enough time. It could come down to this. 5 seconds left. It looks like they're going to be able to take it. Oh my gosh, it's so close. Oh, they lose it. A fraction of a second. Phoenix Fire loses 16-12.